His blood inside me. We know that it works. Almighty, creator of His blood inside me. We know that He works. Who said the Father Abraham, the Father Isaac and Jacob, the Almighty God, why would we pray with? He sent His Son for the nation, the covenant back in our curses. God, He with us, don't care what we face, Where else we gon' go? We gon' trust in His word. Stay on that narrow, don't trust in no turns. Eyes to the east, everybody gon' learn. Put away your sins, all they. We're gonna crank up in just a second, y'all. When I told y'all we finna start doing this, yeah. I ain't got no mic to say. Almighty, creator of earth. Hey, but we finna talk real quick though. His blood inside me. Let's talk chesty to chesty. We know that He works. Scattered for many years, now we back. Mind been renewed from this world with attack. The judgment is coming by His will, that's a slap. The wilderness is coming by His hand, that's a fact. The ark of the covenant, I be willing not to spot. Where He gon' get us? It was prophesied in the land was sown by His blood. You gon' ride. Babylon falling, it all gon' go wrong. Keep them commandments, we trying to go home. Before you serve me, go serve Him on that throne. Walk as He walk, I'ma walk, I'm a clone. Where He gon' get us? Keep commandments, He gon' fight for. I'ma see I hit a light for. Rhyme on blood, right now, Almighty, creator of earth. His blood inside me. We know that He will. His blood inside me. We know that He works. Almighty. I mean, I gotta get out the way though. Alright, gang. Shalom. Now, I remember talking to y'all a little bit ago about USC 411, 412, and also 432. Alright. And the reason I was talking to y'all about that is because if you understand the nature of securities, which are financial assets, if you understand the nature of your social security account, which is what you pledge your financial assets to, all of this should make sense. in reference to operation. What I mean by that, what I mean by that is you've been operating as trustee this entire time. You've been operating as trustee this entire time, your entire life. Okay. With you operating as trustee your entire life, you've been operating in what's called incompetency. You've been showing clear and unambiguous proof that you don't understand the purpose, point, and issuance of your social security card and account. And by doing so, your social security person is more than likely drowning in debt. He's drowning in debt so deeply to the point where you are looking to create different streams of income. Okay. Now, these water terms that I'm using are what govern your currency. And you have to understand these terms in order to effectively operate in their dead world. I call it a dead world because it's fictitious. The reason I say it's fictitious is because it only exists in the construct of the mind or of man's making. Dig what I'm saying? If we didn't believe in the dollar, the Federal Reserve notes, they wouldn't circulate. Simply put, everything is done off of faith and credit. Faith and credit are both things that you cannot see. In their world, this is called intangible. The intangible creates the tangible. So from nothing, you create something. Okay. So from your thoughts, which is your intangible, you give the order to create something. That thought takes faith. You must believe in it. That's why you spoke it. Not only does it take faith, but it also takes work. You can't just believe in things and they fall out of the sky. Okay? It's going to take faith and works. So you have to believe that you will receive, and you have to work or use the tools that you are given in order for those things to come about. That's what makes manifestation true. That's what makes affirmations true. It's not only you speaking these things, but doing these things and having faith in what you are doing, your purpose and intention. Does that make sense? You can deposit once you start understanding the nature of securities, once you start understanding everything that's going on, you can start to deposit Federal Reserve notes in a different way than you would be quote unquote dollar bills. As I was telling a few individuals earlier, we ignorantly call Federal Reserve notes dollar bills. Okay, we've been conditioned to look at them in the fashion of only one event, when in fact they are not only quote unquote dollar bills of exchange, they are Federal Reserve notes, and a note is a promise. Okay, so to keep that into perspective, all right. So to keep that into perspective, right? Publicly, you hold those dollar bills and you go exchange them for something at the store. Privately, you're supposed to actually reduce the public debt, because you got to think about this. The more dollar bills that they have to put out into the public, the higher inflation goes, right? Okay, so you want to reduce the public debt. In order to reduce the public debt, you must understand if they put it out, that's what raised the debt. I must give it back to them in order to reduce the debt. Okay? From the government's perspective, they're literally doing every hi son, shalom. From their perspective, they're doing everything that they can to ensure the security of the public. That's why they gave you a social security number, social, general, security, financial number, identification, or account. So they gave you this BK. Oh, shalom, shalom, beloved. They gave you something to interact with the public. However, read the dollar note. It says that this note is legal tender for all debts, private and public. So there's a way to associate a value to that dollar bill privately. Now think of it like this. When you go out into the public and you use your social security number, 9 times out of 10, you don't give them the actual card. You just give them the number. Okay. If you give somebody the card, that means you're surrendering the card. Okay. If you keep the card, you're just surrendering the number. You always put the number on an application that got some form of a value to it or whatever the case may be. So in actuality, on the private side, what you're doing is you're pledging this instrument to this account number. Okay. Think of the exact same thing when it comes down to shit, everything. That's your credit card in this world. You have to understand it like that. That this is a business account, okay? And I've been given the power of authority to access this business account. Okay? When we say that all bills are prepaid, when we say that everything is prepaid, we must understand it from the perspective of how the government set it up, right? As I keep telling you all, they gave us something for us to interact in their dead world. When they took gold and silver out of circulation, meaning you can't go to the store and give somebody gold and silver, that's actual true payment. Since you can't go to the store and give somebody gold and silver, they've given you a replacement form of money. Okay, they've given you collateral, they've given you a security. Okay, now to secure that payment, because a promise does not secure a payment. And we know that this is true because the dollar bill said, the dollar note says that it is a note, and a note is a promise to pay. We got to operate as our U.S. What'd you say, Kenfolk? Consumer and commerce. What's that? That's your tribal lady? I'm live. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, all right. So you I forgot what I was just saying. Hold on. All right, yeah. So they gave you a way to operate in commerce, right? You just don't understand the private side to all of this shit. You've been operating in public. You've been operating like a child. Children see gold and bold. You can have, look at this, look at that. But the parents, the adults, the authority, the ones who understand, they read the contract because the contract states the fine print. And the fine print is usually what people don't see, and that's what locks them into something that they don't want to be in. You dig what I'm saying? So from this point, if you look at yourself as a trustee, if you understand that you are a trustee, you understand that every single thing is a trust. All right. So we want to reduce the public debt because we entrust them to give us a form of currency that we can use in our society. Okay. Now, what we don't understand is when they create that currency and they put that debt note, because that's what it is. It's proof that there is a debt somewhere. When we put that debt note, when they put that debt note into society, inflation rises, okay? Because they need something to cover the debt that they just put in. What you are supposed to do, I'm finna send it to you. Give me just a second. All right, hey, if y'all wouldn't mind, share the live for me. I'm giving y'all some good information. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm the type of person I can break this shit down. I can show y'all the clear picture of this shit if you allowed me to speak. If you would trust me with the opportunity. You did. So when it come down to you pledging that instrument, or I'm sorry, them putting dollar bills out, the receipt that you get from the store is proof that you put a debt note there. The reason
the elders of our society, the reason they kept their receipts back in the day is because they knew that they had to report those debt notes to the treasury. You report those debt notes to the treasury and they're going to give you a reimbursement. If you supply the source document or the statement of account, the receipt, that's proof of your claim. You dig what I'm saying? And that's how we got to operate as trustee in a private world. Okay, and what's private about your world? Your life, your name, your address, your email, your phone number, all of that's private information. Okay, now what you must understand, you have to separate yourself from your social security person. Your social security person is not you. Okay, stop calling yourself the beneficiary. We know that much, but you need to gain the understanding of how to operate as trustee on that entity's behalf. Okay, it's already comprehended that you're the beneficiary. We know that much. If your social security name gets $100,000, you get to spend it. If it gets a car, you get to drive it. If it gets a house, you get to live in it. If it gets social security benefits, you get to use and or spend them. So we know you're the beneficiary, but who knows that you are the trustee? And the reason this is important is because you have to understand the Sesta Act, which is a trust in itself of 1666. Let's put this into perspective. The government is not against you. The government doesn't hate you. The government doesn't want to unalive you. The only reason if they would unalive you is because you are claiming to be a liability to the government and they are going to discharge your ass for an income source. And they have every right to. You're claiming to be a debt. You're claiming to be a liability. So as their property, they have right to sell, transfer, and convey your ass. You understand? They don't own the spirit. They know that it's going back to sender, but you pledged your body to them via the document called the birth certificate. Your birth certificate is your deed to hell. Hell is not only a construct of the mind. You can go crazy up here. Hell is not only a physical location spiritually, but hell is also a physical location earthly. You're living in it if your competence is not up to par. Because once your competence comes to par, you can also live consciously, subconsciously, physically, and spiritually in heaven as well. You don't have to die to go to heaven, like you don't have to die to go to hell. You understand what I'm saying? This is the danger of allowing others to teach you something that you can learn yourself, depending on them to teach you something you can learn yourself. Heaven is on earth, hell is on earth. That's the physical. Spiritually, you will go somewhere, your energy will go somewhere physically, spiritually, in its decision in its destination for heaven or hell. All right. But don't get beside yourself. While you are on earth, you experience those same events here. You've allowed somebody to teach you that you gotta die to go to hell while they live in heaven on earth. You must recondition yourself. The Bible says you got to unlearn to relearn everything. And the reason you have to unlearn to relearn is because you were taught by people. And these people coincidentally are not people that are of your nation, tribe, or faith. So therefore, their perspective, their energy, their spirit of life is going to be in complete difference than yours. This is why I preach that there is no such thing as equality. There is no such thing as equality. But in every respect, essence, and beauty, there is there is equity. Equity is what everybody is looking for. This is what they are mistaking for equality. Equity is fairness and justice. You think because you're saying we are equal that you are to be treated how I'm treated, spoken to how I'm spoken to, regarded as I am regarded, when we all have something in life called status. Okay? If you're not of my status, you do not receive the benefits and or privileges, rights, or remedies that I do. Are you entitled to them? Yes, upon you gaining that elevation. You're not restricted, meaning you can't get to that point. However, just because you say it's mine does not mean it's due you. That's what it is to be an adult about this shit. You dig me? That's why I say get out of that state of mind of calling yourself a beneficiary. We know that much. But while you're operating in that beneficiary state of mind, in Hebrew, ben, bon, or ben, it means son, which is a boy, which is a child. It's not a grown adult. I'm sorry, it's not a grown man or woman. Okay, and I didn't say adult because adult is adolescent. Adolescent is still a child. It's still a minor. So you want to go from that minor status and you want to go truly into majority status. You understand what I'm saying? Majority status is not only physically growing up, it's mentally growing up. It's spiritually. You're not crying to God for everything growing up. You understand that you are God. You are a power. You are a replica. You are the very thought of the existent one to be in existence. So you understand you ain't got to cry to him for everything like the Christ you can do. You don't have to ask God to forgive somebody that's wronged you when you can forgive them yourself. You have the power to forgive. You understand what I'm saying? You've been entrusted as a trustee over the estate of earth. And if you manage the earth estate properly, you get to benefit, you get to reap it. This is why it says the humble will inherit the earth. The wealth of the wicked is being stored up for the righteous, meaning you looking at them prosper right now when they ain't doing nothing but building up the things that you're going to take from them legally, lawfully, because they are obtaining these things illegally. But you got to understand, you're not a baby, you're not a child. Stop crying with your hand out and understand how to make your declarations. Understand how to delegate authority, man. We spending so much time beefing with each other, we're missing the point of even being on the fucking earth. Everybody's feeling entitled to something when none of this shit belongs to you. What belongs to Caesar belongs to Caesar, but what belongs to the Most High is what belongs to the Most High. Psalms 127 and verse 3 says that the reward of the womb is the father's. The inheritance, children, are the inheritance of the Creator. When I say father, I'm speaking of the Creator. So even your child is a gift to your estate that you have been entrusted to return it back to sender. You got a job to do, beloved. We all do. But we out here living life like we see these people on the internet. You don't know these folks. You don't know half of what they're going through or what they're doing to get there. However, it's intriguing to you because you see snippets and pieces of this person's life that they've allowed you to see. You dig me? Stop acting like you are the beneficiary, even though we know you are. That's cool. You need to get your mind fixated on how to operate as the beneficiary. Excuse me, as the trustee, as the one that holds legal and equitable title, the grantee. Okay. If you learn the word social security, and many of y'all haven't even learned the word, you just use it. You use it every day. When I ask many of you, what is your social security number? Every damn 9 times out of 10, 9 people out of 10 are going to tell me that's their identity. That be far from the truth, beloved. When did you ever become, for one, you know it's a social security account number. So when did you ever become an account? And if you understand that you're not an account, why won't you call yourself the accountant of that account? And if you are the accountant of that account, that means you manage the account. That means you're the one who keeps the account together. You keep the account what's called afloat. Why don't you address yourself or identify yourself as that? Dig what I'm saying? Instead of placing yourself in categories that technically endanger you, because debt endangers you, stop that beneficiary stuff. We know that much. Apparently, there's life into the estate to the point where somebody's coming in using the name. However, that individual who's using the name is not making known who they are. So therefore, liability is falling on both the beneficiary and the surety. The surety is the social security person. That is what is supposed to be guaranteeing the payment, which is why you pledged it or put it on the document or contract in the first place. They gave you a social security number so you could operate in commerce. You dig me? They took your they took your gold and your silver and gave you credit So they took your tangible thing and gave you something intangible. You can't see credit like you can't see the wind. And you know both of them motherfuckers exist. Now you need to be just like you are an accountant, managing the account properly. Understanding if you have a social security number, whatever you place that security number on becomes a security in itself. A competent trustee would know what to do in a land where there is quote unquote no money. In a land where there is no money, he understands in the game of Monopoly, rule number 11, this is pissing me off. Rule number 11 states, yes, the trustee. Rule number 11 states that if Rich Uncle Pennybags runs out of money, that don't mean the game is over. Okay? Go get some paper and write who owes who, when did they owe them, and how much they owe them. And then y'all turn that into the bank. Excuse me, pass that around until all of the money from the people have recirculated back into the reserve. Once the money has recirculated back into the reserve, you can then produce your promissory notes to Rich Uncle Pennybags, and he'll give you a redemption for your note, or for your note. And that's how I'm telling y'all, that's how y'all supposed to be playing this game. It's Monopoly, folks. When you play the game of Monopoly, you don't ever sit down and pull your money out on the table. That doesn't make sense. That would actually be insane. And that's why they're not allowing most of you to access your accounts, because you're proving the way that you're doing it or what you're trying to do, how you're doing it, that you're incompetent. You're proving them with the very way that you contract, by showing that there is no authorized representative on behalf of the social security person, which is in actuality a minor. Every business is a minor, because you're proving that to them. You're not going to get remedy. You're not going to get remedy until you start to rebut your own insanity. They're not calling you insane. You're proving you're insane. They're not calling you a minor. You're proving you're a minor. Many people, when I ask them what is a minor, they say that's a child. And then I ask them what are minorities. They say black people. If a minor is one child, minorities has to be many children. So what you are saying is black people are children of the United States government. And it makes sense. That's why they gave you a social security number and you still use it. It makes sense why you ain't stepped up as trustee and took over your family's estate, because you don't know how. You're incompetent. And a minor is incompetent. Think about it. A child don't know how to go get social security benefits. Child don't know what to do when they to go get a daycare voucher. Child don't know what to do when it breaks something and then it's got to pay for something. Children don't know these things, which is why they have an authority over them, somebody who do understand these things, who's able to go and act on their behalf. Your child breaks something at daycare, they don't pay for it, you do. You're acting on their behalf. Your social security owe a debt, you don't owe it, it does, but you got to go help it perform, because it can't sign a check, it can't fill out an instrument, it can't do nothing, it can't get on the phone, it can't do nothing for itself but be in existence. McDonald's, the building, could it produce a burger if there were no employees? Could it accept tender of payment if there were no employees? And it doesn't matter if you're saying that employee is a robot. If there was no form of activity inside of the business entity itself, could there be any form of revenue, income, or an expression of remuneration or even equity? No. If there is no business coming into the business, that business actually becomes a liability, because now how do you pay the rent if there's no revenue coming in? How do you pay the lights? How do you pay the water? How do you pay for the extremities if there is no revenue coming in? So the business becomes a liability. If you own property and you don't have anybody living in your property, it's a liability. You pay property taxes or something. You pay for that property in some form of way that now instead of the funds coming from the property, it's coming from you. It's not being an asset making you revenue, it's a liability taking your revenue. Those cars on the lot, after 6 months to the dealership, they become a liability. Nobody's buying them, they're just here. If you understand dealerships, a dealership, in order to get all of those cars on the lot, there's a bank that funds their floor plan. The funding of their floor plan is basically this: hey, look, I'm about to start a dealership and I'm about to get 35 cars on my lot. However, I don't have the capital funding to pay for those 35 cars. I want to secure a line of credit for the amount that I need for those 35 cars, and for you to secure you, bank, to make sure you're okay with giving me this line of credit. I'll secure those cars, I'll secure that line of credit with the cars as collateral. So therefore, when somebody comes in to get a car, you're going to be the first in line, first in time that the contract comes in through. And if they credit good, this and that and the third, they're going to come through your bank. All of those applications for vehicles are bank notes, because the bank owns them. The bank owns all those cars. That's why they end up receiving the title when you go to them ignorantly and apply for your own credit and give them power of attorney to make purchase for you. If you listen to that phone call I did with the bank for that sister, they literally said she put in an application. The application becomes a promissory note, which created the life of the credits and the life of the debt. But it created the life of the credits, and then the bank used those credits to go and purchase the vehicle, which is why the bank ended up receiving the title instead of her. Originally, what she was supposed to do is go get pre-approved for the vehicle, get the check so she could take it to the bank, to the dealership, and she gets the title. Now, what the bank will want you to do if you get pre-approved is the bank is going to tell you, we'll give you the check, but you got to come back with the title for us. That's the collateral. You supposed to say, no, I'm going to come back with the negotiable instrument, the valuable instrument that created all of this, so I can offset the principal obligation, what I owe you, or what the entity owes you. As its representative, I'm here to perform. All right. And you got to understand this world. You have to understand the stage that you are a part of. When Shakespeare said that this world is a stage, remember, there's only one universe, and there are many different cosmos. Girl world, guy world, sports world, the politics world. They speak different languages in those worlds. Even though they're still speaking English, there are words that mean things differently in context of the event and or situation. You understand what I'm saying? You can't take guy logic into girl world and expect it to make sense. It doesn't. They're emotional creatures, so their logic is governed by their feelings. It's not governed by their intellect. Majority of them. It's only the virtuous, it's only the select few that actually have the emotional intelligence, which gains them the stability, the emotional stability as a true woman. A lot of women are just females, like a lot of like a lot of men are just males. And understand that a female and a male is how you identify animals. So that's still in that animal state of mind, that survival instinct state of mind. Animals operate off of instinct. Living, breathing men and women have free will. We understand choice, the power of decision. Animals do what they instinctively have to do. Okay. And we all have to come out of that animal state of mind. This is why the Bible says you have to kill that old man. You dig? Everybody got to start paying attention properly. We out here blaming. We blaming everybody and each other for our own incompetency. Dig me? You need an order from the court stating that you are the power of authority. If you think about it. If you go bankrupt, the court is going to have to appoint a trustee and a fiduciary. That's how you can correct your status. If you change your name, You gain guardianship over the old name. That's how you correct your status. If you prove a valid will or trust, you prove that you are a separate entity from the Social Security person who has taken ownership over it to secure it. That's how you correct your status. If you could prove a power of authority and then go get the court order from the court that you are the power of authority, that's how you correct your status. Y'all can keep this shit sweet and simple. However, you still need to understand the nature of the game. It's all about trust. The Bible says that my cup will overflow. In order for that cup to overflow, you got to have a cup for the liquidation to pour into. The Social Security person is an entity that you can dissolve. When you dissolve that entity, the liquidation from it is able to pour into something. Hopefully that be your trust. Power of authority is the same thing as the power of attorney, beloved. Y'all should be on point with that. It's the same thing. What is a power of attorney? You have the ability legally to govern the affairs of this individual. What is authority? You have the lawful ability to govern the affairs of this authority. As I told my students in my classes, I'm finna get a bit more strict with y'all. Y'all shouldn't be saying certain things and asking certain questions because, for one, your answers are already in it, and the competence should be in how you state it. Now, how does one dissolve it if someone does or dies? You're asking me questions that's in the Internal Revenue publications. A Form 966 is how you dissolve an estate or a corporation. You have to understand body is dead, right? If the spirit is not inside of the body can't do anything. So the body is not alive or a separate entity than itself. The body is in bondage to the spirit. The body is in bondage to the soul, which is the mind, where you make your choices. This is what will be judged. You dig me? If y'all wouldn't mind, share the live for me, beloved. I have a series coming up. It's for trust, teaching y'all these things, how to fund the trust, how to act within the trust, how to be a trustee. You dig? If y'all are understanding what I'm saying, if I'm making sense, if what I'm stating is interesting or it has a benefit, share the live for me. I ain't asking you to pay me. Just asking you to share the live. And I appreciate those who have. But yeah, man, you understand who you are? When is my class? Um, it begins January 8th. I'm gonna make a post tonight or in the morning, um, to entice you all to promote it. You know, but I already did. It's a picture of a boat on my page. There's a QR code that's connected or associated with it. Screenshot it, and then you'll be able to link yourself to the job form, and you'll see all the information for payment, details about the class, so on and so forth. But as y'all can see, when I do my series, I kind of go into hibernation with them. You dig? And I disassociate from social media because I want to give them my attention and time. You know, um, is this a beginner series? I mean, in essence, it is, but not one like my previous series. I've been holding the hand. I've been putting that water in my hand and up to your mouth. I'm not doing that anymore. In my greatest opinion, that's an impairment because then you'll look for that forever. You won't stand up on your own. Okay. If your goal, and I understand everybody needs some dough, everybody that's understanding of this is trying to secure their dough. But your goal does not need to be money. If your goal is money, you're gonna get frustrated with this shit. You ain't gonna understand this shit. It's not gonna work for you. It's not gonna work for you until you start to secure your consciousness. It's not about money. If you don't understand what money, funds, stock, currency, um, mediums of exchange, if you don't understand what those terms mean, you don't need to be focused on quote unquote money, because anything is money, you know. But yeah, this life is very simple. They already set up a trust for you. That's why you have a social security. There's already an estate that's been pledged to the social security. That's why you have a birth certificate. Both of those are proof of those events. Birth certificate was probated and a social security number was assigned to you. Think about it. When you went to school and the teacher gave you an assignment, you had a duty, a responsibility to that assignment. Take it home, complete it, turn it back in. When you turned it back in, they gave you a grade which counted towards your overall credits. You want your credit, perform properly. Dig what I'm saying? Like Shakespeare said, this is a stage, the world is a stage. You got to understand what your role is. You don't get to, I'm sorry, you have to understand what your role is in the context of the world that you're operating in. In the natural world, you can't choose to be a man or woman. You've already been assigned that order. God does not make mistakes. Okay. So if he doesn't make mistakes, you see a penis, beloved. Your assignment is natural. You can't think you're something else. It doesn't work like that. If you are a trustee operating in the world of trust, you have to be appointed, assigned these capacities. You can't just be that on your own. There has to be some form of authority been governed to you. And what I mean by that is you can't just go use somebody's social security number. You can't just go use somebody's name. You can't just go use somebody's address. You can't just use somebody's phone number. If you do, they're going to ask you for some permission to do so. They, I want y'all to talk to me, help me understand something. What y'all don't understand. Y'all supposed to be asking questions. The understanding that this world is a stage, you have the Social Security Act, you have the Bill of Exchange Act, you have the Emergency Banking Act. Absolutely, MCMJ. But you need to understand how to perform. If you read the acts, they tell you how to perform. You want your standing ovation, you want your credit, you want to receive what's due you, go read the act. The act is what's giving the event the authority to take place. You know what I'm saying? Righteous. They got a lot of acts. The Stamp Duty Act. The works is a stage. The world is a stage. Everyone is acting, and you must perform. And if you want your standing ovation for your performance, you got to read the script. If somebody sends you a bill, you got to know what scene or what act you are in. It's a bill of exchange. So there's a performance that is due for this event. That makes sense, y'all? I'm trying to simplify this shit for you in the simplest way. I'm trying to talk to you like your homie. What are some things I can ask of my trustee dealing with credit? I don't know what that question means, beloved. I don't know what that means. I need the script. You should pull them up. Pull them up. They're all public information. This is why there is no excuse for not knowing the law, because it's all public information. I just spoke of them. So if I said Social Security Act, go to Google and pull up the Social Security Act. Go pull up the Bill of Exchange Act. Google what are the different legislative acts throughout the United States history. IRS have a publication 17, which is teaching you about being an individual with a social security number. Publication, I believe it's 550 or 559, is teaching you how to be an executor or administrator over an estate. These folks ain't hiding this information from you. These folks is not these folks, I know that rule 11 of Monopoly hit. These folks are not trying to harm you. They're trying to make sure you're not trying to harm the estate. What's the main role of the trustee? To perform on behalf of the trust in whatever way the trust asked it to secure it. Because remember, the trust can't do nothing for itself, so it needs an entity to operate for it. That's where you come in. You've been appointed. And that's why I say y'all got to stop saying y'all the beneficiary. We know that much. But you don't own shit. It's not your social security number. It's not your house. It's not your car. It's not your account. It's not your number. It's not yours. Especially if you sold it, conveyed it, transferred it, or gifted it to the trust. Dig what I'm saying? Publication 17, 550, and 559. You know, and there's many more. You know, you just gotta Bible Bible says, blessed, excuse me, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but it is the honor of kings to search it out. You dig me? Stop looking for handouts. I'm not coming against y'all or at y'all, but especially us as men, supposed to be in research. Money is actually called money on account. They shortened it to confuse us. However that may be, money is any medium of exchange. Meaning, once again, like I gave earlier, if you want my jet ski and you got a 4-wheeler, and we determine the value and price is equal or of what's the word I want to use? We determine that their values are just. That they basically balance. I'm trying to say this properly, but you feel like the worth of my jet ski is the worth of your 4-wheeler. You dig? So you say, well, shit, look, G, I'm gonna give you a receipt. I'm gonna give you a bill of sale or whatever, whatever, so we can prove that we did this. You know what I'm saying? You can't come back and say I stole your shit. Or you can't come back and say you want your shit back. Nah, this shit was sold to me properly. You dig me? Equal consideration. God damn, equal consideration, which is, as the sister above you stated, or if that's a brother, I don't know, Julian Morrison, is that a woman or male? Or yes, of equal value, but as that sister stated, it's equity. It's fair and it's just. Female, okay, shalom, beloved, absolutely. As the sister stated, but we just gotta understand this game we playing. You go into them dealerships, you go into these entities. Look at this. Let me see about something. I probably gotta edit it. Give me just a second. All right. Frequency activated vibration, rise and ascended, masses return. All right, so check this out, gang. All right, this ain't my bill, but all of this shit been in y'all face this entire time. You just do not understand the nature of trust. You don't understand the nature of securities. You don't understand money. That's why you ignorantly call a dollar bill when it states exactly what it is on the face of it. It's a Federal Reserve note. Now, tell me, all of y'all, what's the one thing that stands out on this instrument? It should be in the comments. Everybody should say what that is. What's the one thing that stands out on this instrument right here? Where you see the word promissory, account number on the top. Why does that stand out to you? What does that mean? Coupon. There we go. There we go. Somebody said coupon. Now tell me what a coupon is for the women that do couponing. You understand? You know, let's say, let's say Tide, let's say this product costs $10 at the store. You understand? You found two coupons. Excuse me. Hold on. I'm going to the comments real quick. Where y'all see the word discount at? I missed that or something. Y'all see the word discount on there? Y'all see the word interest on there? Nah, y'all don't see that. Keep it simple. That's what you see. Payment, coupon. Don't make this anything else but that. Okay? Because you don't understand what interest is. You don't understand that the coupon is your interest. But it don't say interest on here, so don't complicate this shit. You understand what I'm saying? This is a payment coupon. All right. So the product costs you $10. You found two coupons, $5 a piece. You dig me? You go to the store, pick up your product, take it to the counter, and instead of going in your pocket and giving them $10, you gave them the coupons. Okay? Now, I want to ask y'all some questions. Does Walmart take a $10 loss? This is where you bought the product. Does Walmart take a $10 loss when they accept these $5 coupons? No. No, it's an even exchange. So, in order for Walmart to receive the redemption, because they just got pieces of paper in their hand that say this is $5 coupon. What do they have to do in order for them to get their $10? If I can't make this shit clear for you, that's because you can't see. What does Walmart have to do in order to get their $10? Redeem the coupon. I'm sure they fill something out. They submit it to the manufacturer. There we go. Redeem it with the company. There we go. Turn it in to the feds. That don't sound proper. Why would you turn that in to the feds when you're in contract with somebody that you agreed can have these coupons and redeem them at your store? Righteous. Send it back to the manufacturer. Exactly. Send it back to the manufacturer. Right? So when Walmart sends them coupons in to the manufacturer's gonna validate if they are real, and then in exchange, send them $10 in credit. Now, do you understand what your bills are? Do you understand why it's in a positive number? We all learned in school if you owe someone So you send your coupon into the treasury. Where does it say anything about the treasury on here? Where did you get that? Where out of this conversation did I say anything about the treasury? You putting the cart before the horse. You asking me questions as trustee, you should know. I'm showing you that this is a negotiable instrument. Now, trustee, go negotiate the instrument. The treasury is a bank. The courthouse is a bank. A bank is a bank. A credit union is a bank. You supposed to know how to negotiate the instrument. So send it to the treasury. That's on you. I don't give financial advice. So they send it in. So they send it to in credits. Huh? Remember, if you don't know how to speak properly, the people that you are engaging in intercourse with won't understand how you trying to have sex with them. You want me to put it well? It don't belong there. Wrong hole, fool. Type shit. You dig what I'm saying? Business is a relationship. Bondage while you're in the contract together. Intercourse is engagement. That's why your woman need to understand that adultery or fornication is not simply always sexual. Her engagement with another man is simply that. So they send it. So they send it to us. It credits. Still tight wrong. So they send it to us. It credits. I can't answer that question until you speak properly. Slow down, beloved. Just get it out. So they send it. But yeah, I don't know what that means. Anyways, though, so why would you send it to the treasury when this is the manufacturer? You know who fucking sent you the coupon. Send the coupon back to them to offset the principal obligation. Now, a child can't do this. So if you haven't restructured the account and told them, hey, I'm the authorized representative, I'm the power of authority, I'm the trustee, I'm somebody on behalf of this minor to handle, to perform for him since he has received this bill of exchange. Yes, absolutely, Black Velvet. You are the one that is there to balance the books. They sent you a credit because there is a debit to the account. Use the credit to offset the principal obligation to the P.O. box or to the legal department. You asking me the wrong questions. They tell you exactly what to send that payment back to. To the P.O. box or to the legal department. You got to understand what a P.O. box is. A P.O. box is a lock box that a trustee governs. They tell you on the bill what suite, unit number, or P.O. box to send the presentment to. You dig me? You don't have to ask these questions. You don't have to look for an indentured trustee or this and then the third when the motherfucker right there on the document. If I unfold this bill and I show y'all the rest of it, they tell you specifically where to send this motherfucker. They tell you where to send it and who to pay it to the order of. They tell you exactly where to send the payment to. You see that? P.O. box. Dig me? Y'all asking irrelevant questions. Y'all heard all of this shit on the internet. Send it to the treasury, this and that, the third, but you need to understand what you're doing before you go out there trying to do this shit. Which is why I just told y'all the minor cannot send this coupon back to redeem some credits to get the account paid. And you ain't established the account as the trustee, the authorized representative, the mother, father, the one who can do this shit. You ain't established that yet. So you gonna send this bill back and not get a response. You gonna send this bill back and that shit gonna reverse. You gonna send this bill back and they gonna tell you you ain't got the authorization to do this. Minor, And that's exactly what a child would do. Sit there, beg, cry, and plead and complain and throw temper tantrums and all of this stupid shit based on some shit they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand how to play this game with these people, man. That's all that it is. It's a game. And if you understand how to play the game properly, it'll stop getting played on you. You dig me? If you play the game properly, that motherfucker stop getting played on you. Long as you don't know your rights, they don't exist. Your rights are your remedies. You dig me? Form 56. What you speaking on 56 for? What you doing with a Form 56? What does that form do or say to you or for you? Before you appoint somebody else as a fiduciary, have you appointed yourself or have you been appointed? You dig me? All of that matters. They've already created an estate for you. Your mama did that. They've already created a trust for you. Your mama did that. But then she abandoned the administration, which is why the Social Security Administration is blocking your ass. Everybody trying to do we get a TDA account. Do you know what to get a TDA account for? Why would you get a TDA account? What's your point in mentioning the TDA? I am in the process of doing my revocable trust. Is that what you are talking about? I'm talking about every form of trust. There are only two types and many different kinds. The two types of trust are revocable and irrevocable, and many kinds, charitable, remainder, testamentary, many different types of trust. You dig? I'm talking about trust in general. How you choose to operate your trust, either out of the irrevocable or the revocable, is up to you. To process these coupons, what about it? Oh, do we get a TDA account to process the coupons? That is possible. That's what you should do. You could even process, but I'm saying though, you got to do this as a trustee. You got to understand when they give you the credit, your stupid ass got to go actually pay the debtor's bill, folks. We understand that, right? And I'll be calling you stupid. I'm just saying, stupid ass. You have to appoint yourself as trustee first before there we go, and not even just appoint yourself first. Alert them, put their ass on notice of this appointment, so that their power of authority can be revoked. Because right now, that's why they sending you the bill. They telling you to pay it when you supposed to been sending it. That's why you sending it back. They them giving the authority to go ahead and do what they should have been doing to the account in the first place. Zero out the balance. Why would you send me the coupon? Why would you send me the coupon when you can go ahead and accept the coupon and offset the balance? You dig? Take it when they send you these bills in exchange. Take it like you just got a magazine and it say coupons in that motherfucker, man. You cut them coupons out and you go and execute or perform with them coupons. Am I making sense to y'all, man? So you have to revoke that power of attorney. I just said that. So at this point, I'm thinking, are you asking me for permission or do you understand? You dig what I'm saying, G? Before you can start doing administrative matters on behalf of this motherfucker right here, you got to prove that you have the authority to do so. If you ain't giving them the proof that you have the authority, they not finna acknowledge your ass. You heard me? And that's why you gotta understand who you are. Understanding who you are is not just your spirit. It's understanding your physical capabilities. We rescind. Rescind what? Why are you rescinding anything? You would only rescind something if you have the proof of fraud or you're no longer interested in the contract. Why would you cancel the contract when you can claim the motherfucker? Don't just throw ideas out there. From now on, if y'all gonna ask me something, place your understanding behind it. Help me understand what you trying to overstand. Invoke, negotiate. I don't know what that means. I put everybody on notice. LOL, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you what make your notices powerful. Before you before you notify them, the best way to notify the general public is to put that motherfucker in the newspaper, beloved. Put it in the newspaper first and get that affidavit of publication. Because the affidavit unrebutted stands as truth, and you gave them ample opportunity to come and make their claim over what you put in the newspaper. You dig? That's my next step. Get it. You got it, beloved. Do your thing, shout it. Go put that shit in the newspaper, the reservation of your rights. That shit ain't cheap. Shit. You can go put it in the county, right? Get the book and page number, or you could put it on a UCC and get a file number and simply put that notice in the newspaper and say simply refer to a book and page number at such and such county, or refer to UCC file number at such and such state. Ball game. Let them do the research and what they looking for, what you've made a claim over. That shit private anyway. But you still gave them ample opportunity and the resources to get connected to what you talking about. Come on. Motherfucker ain't tell me no. If you gonna tell me no, you told me yeah. Like I told them folks in my class, every no is really a yes. The only realm that shit don't work in is with women. If a female told your ass no, that mean that. I don't give a fuck what she say. Try to insinuate no means no. But in their world, in their commerce world, listen to the no. They telling you why they told you no and what to make that bitch a yes. You dig me? What's the difference between doing your UCC one at the state level, then filing with the district? I ain't ever seen a UCC filed with the district. UCCs are filed with the state, and then the acknowledgments are sent out to the rightful parties. UCCs, I don't know about a UCC being filed in the district. I've never heard of that. I don't even know what that means. I bet county, you filing real estate at the county. So your UCC one, if you have residential or real property, you a house, a deed to some land, you gonna do that at the county. After you file it with the state, you gonna make sure to record it in the county. It ain't no difference. You're reporting a transaction. That makes sense, guy. Everybody's supposed to have a post office box. Listen to the words post office. You need an office of administration. You need an office of administration. You got the post office, the child support office, the office of food stamps, the office of the public defender, the office of the state attorney, the office of the district attorney, the office of the president. Everybody got an office but you, even the social security office. So it's filing a account. I don't know what that means, beloved. I don't question doesn't make sense. Shalom, Nurse Kim. How you doing, beloved? Y'all understand what I'm saying, gang? Yeah, I gotta make these questions make sense to me. Motherfucker, speaking proper sentences. I'm finna read that one more time, make sure I ain't tripping. So, is filing a account? Does a filing become an account? Is a filing proof of an account? Yes. And general delivery. Yeah, get the general delivery set up. So, is filing a UCC the same doing a? I ain't gonna lie to you, Kinfolk. John, you gonna have to tighten up, Kinfolk. So is filing a UCC the same doing a trust? That don't make sense, folks. You making me feel slow reading your shit. So is filing a UCC the same doing a trust? I don't understand that, bro. That's why I smoke. Y'all be confusing the fuck out of me. I can imagine how the entity you're interacting with feels when you send your presentments or your information or whatever the hell y'all do. I understand why the hell they don't even probably respond to your ass. That shit don't make sense. Isn't that a dividend? Yeah, absolutely. Dividend, interest, absolutely. However, it don't say that, right? So we're not gonna make it overcomplicated. We're gonna keep that motherfucker exactly what it say it is, a coupon. This negotiable instrument can be redeemed at your bank. It can be redeemed at the treasury. It can be redeemed in your TDA account. It can be redeemed in your brokerage account. It can be redeemed in lawful currency. But the right person has to be doing the redemption. Make that make sense? You ain't finna give your kids, your babies, $1 million in hand. You go set up an account that can manage the dough for them until they turn to a certain age. I mean, if you ain't poor, you ain't gonna take your kid $1 million. You gonna do what you're supposed to do and invest your kid money so they can get some more money. That's what our mama and them lied to us about when you know what I'm saying, you walk through the hood, projects, dope boy gave you $1. What is lawful currency? Is it credits? That is an insane question. But I'm gonna answer you, beloved. Yes. Credits are a form of currency. Hey, stop that heat ass. Isn't it a difference? Oh, just open my brokerage account. Okay, trustee. What is lawful currency? Is it credits? Yes, it is. If it's electric, gas, or light bill, is it a Build America bonds, which is an obligation to the United? That don't make sense, beloved. If it's electric, gas, light, or bill, I'm gonna see if I can interpret that. Is it a Build America bonds? Yeah, I don't understand that. If you pledge a social security number to open that bill or that account, then yes, it is an obligation to the United States because the social security account doesn't belong to you. It was assigned to you. So you could assign that obligation to them by paying it to their order. When they delivered that instrument to you, you had to perform. Deliver it to them so they could perform. Makes sense, but the proper person got to do this though. The minor social security person can't do it. He's not technically real. He's just here. You dig me? This is all he can do is exist. He can't open itself. He can't spread itself on me. I gotta perform for this, for the benefit of it. Understand what I'm saying? This is what I was saying. The notes are called Build America bonds. Nah, man, that don't that they say Federal Reserve notes, gang. You see how I'm not trying to overcomplicate it? You dig me? Yeah, I ain't trying to overcomplicate it. Feel me? And motherfuckers say Federal Reserve note. Dive into the definition of a note. A note is a promise to pay. Who's promising to pay on this bill? Excuse me, on this Federal Reserve note. That's what it say in that 8K report. And whose 8K report, beloved? I'm sorry, TikTok. Electric company. They said that dollar bills are Build America bonds, and they're. I mean, hey, all right, cool. I ain't never seen that. But if you look at yourself as an investor, so I have CPS Energy, and that's what they call their note. Oh, okay, yeah, their note is the coupon, is the bill that they sending you. Understood. Understood. Send that motherfucker back. Nah, not the. Yeah, 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 yeah. Word, word. Understood. Totally understood. Gotcha. Understood. I got you. I heard that loud and clear. Hey man, I ain't gonna hold y'all, gang. I just gave y'all the game, folks. Share my motherfucking live, man. It's 20 y'all in here. Share the shit out of that motherfucker. I promise you, I just gave y'all the game, folks. I gave y'all the game since I got on the call. I'm telling you what to do. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm telling you what can be done. Hear me? I'm telling you what can be done and who can do those things. But you gotta make sure that gratitude for the knowledge you sure did. Hey, y'all know what word I use instead of gratitude? I use gracious, grace, or mercy. Because you didn't have to extend this to me. You didn't have to give this to me. And grace is a gift given at a time undeserved. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with the word gratitude, I just don't use it. Like I don't use grand rising. I hate that shit. I'm not African, gang. I'm not African at all. It's a few of y'all in here saying I say. I don't say that at all. That belongs to a form of people somewhere else. That's their word, like we say Salah. Salah is our word of bondage to our prayers. I say is their word of bondage to their affirmations and or prayers. I'm not them people. That word extends from West Nigerians, West Africans. Understand who the Fulani is and their hand in quote unquote the transatlantic slave trade. I ain't saying ain't nothing. I'm just not African, guy. Go come bite tenfold to you. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I speak grace, righteousness. Thank you. Excuse me. Grace, gracious, mercy. Because that person extended something to me, and yes, I want it to come back to them. In order, y'all got to understand these words too, right? If you can't use the word shalom, you can't use the word peace, you can't extend that to someone if you're not in that state yourself. Does that make sense? How can I give you something I don't have? So if we introduce ourselves and I'm pissed off and I say peace, beloved, I just cursed you. I just cursed you. I just lied as well. Because peace is an act. It's not just an adjective, it's an act. You have to be in shalom. Shalom is a verb. Shalom is everybody look at it like it's just a greeting. Hi. That's not what it is. I'm giving you a gift when I say shalom, beloved. Shalom, beloved. If we understand how people speak, when somebody say shalom, beloved, to me, my response as God, as a God, is I am. Shalom, beloved. That's why in the Arab nation they say what it is. Uh salam alaikum. Alaikum salam. Peace I give and peace I accept. Or peace I extend and peace I give. Peace I come. Peace I leave. That's an action. That's a duty. You understand? I don't stand under no man. Don't go so deep with that, gang. Do you stand under the principles of equity? I do. By my understanding of the principles of equity, I'm able to stand in its authority. Y'all gotta stop doing this semantic shit. I'm one of them people where I understand the yellow brick road, and you ain't gotta do all that fairy tale shit. The witch told Dorothy at the end of it, you could have went home when you wanted to if only you believed. But you had to go down the yellow brick road. You had to experience the trials and tribulations. You had to go through the bullshit. You had to hear the minions produce all of this fearful shit to you. The great whiz, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. Dorothy actually ends up meeting this motherfucker. He ain't shit. Understand? He actually wants to help Dorothy. He wants Dorothy to help him. And then Dorothy has to give him a gift. The gift is the broom. What did she do in order to get the broom? She melted the witch. The Wizard of Oz come back and say, you liquidated her. How resourceful. Go watch the movie, gang. Go watch the movie. All Dorothy had to do was click her heels 3 times. So you want people under you? I'm good, brother. I didn't say under me. Y'all are not under me, yo, folk. Am I breaking down my own laws and logic? No. I'm explaining to you the maxims of equity, the laws of trust, the laws of the state, the laws that govern your very existence. Do you stand under them principles, or do you stand under the wicked ways of the flesh? You understand? You looking too deep into this, gang. You looking too deep and you ain't seeing enough. You dig me? Do I have people under me? Absolutely. How? Trust. Do I want them under me? It's no never mind if it's a want or not. I've been assigned a duty or responsibility. Everybody got somebody under them. You got kids, I got kids, I got little people under me. You making it deeper than what it is, and you ain't seeing enough, gang. I told y'all learned all that fairy tale shit. Y'all scared of this world. Y'all scared to say certain things. Y'all scared of ownership, not understanding who the grantee is. He holds legal and equitable title. You don't understand that you hold legal and equitable title through the trust that has ownership of it in total. That's how you have been granted legal and equitable title. The authority to sell, transfer, and convey and benefit from it. Legal ownership, the legal title is the ownership, and the equitable title is the interest or benefit you get from it. So you have the authority to demonstrate on both. You have the authority to perform on both aspects, but you don't want to own nothing and control it. You don't even understand this. You don't understand it in fullness. Y'all hear bits and pieces of this information, and that's why y'all also spread out and stretched out. You don't understand bills of exchange. You don't understand trust. You don't understand securities. You don't understand estate. You don't understand will. You don't understand this. You don't understand these things because you're not putting them together, because they're not being put together for you. Y'all confining yourself to words and phrases and terms you don't even understand. Like nobody can find in law uh not to mix private and public, even though the concept is expressed throughout trust, estate, tax, and administrative law. Everybody can't do Minnesota Rule 220, or excuse me, everybody can't use Minnesota Rule 220. Minnesota Rule 220 is only for Minnesotans. However, if you understood what Minnesota was telling their people, their citizens of their nation, what to do to secure their property, you would understand what you can do overall to secure your property. Because Minnesota Rule 220 is only a deed of conveyance. So if you understood how to convey your property, you could write the vital statistics and reconvey your property into another name, and therefore that would also display the age of majority too. Everybody can do Minnesota Rule 220's concept. You just can't use in your affidavit or your letters according to Minnesota Rule 220. Da, 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 da. That ain't your fucking state. How you gonna tell Florida about Minnesota? Florida gonna say fuck what they doing. We don't even. If you got Florida charges and you get caught in Minnesota, Minnesota's not gonna bring you up on Florida's charges. Minnesota gonna hold you until Florida come get you. If Florida don't come get you, Minnesota has to let you go because they don't have jurisdiction over those charges. Those charges weren't committed in their business jurisdiction. It was committed in Florida's jurisdiction. Yeah, I gotta understand the game, gang. What it's about and what it do, what it can and what it don't. Can I repeat what I said? I ain't gonna lie, I'm freestyling all of this shit. No, I don't even remember. I don't even know what you want me to repeat. I say a lot. We gotta understand this game, gang. All my videos go on YouTube. Click my name on TikTok and you will find my link to my YouTube. Go subscribe to me. And I'm dropping all the links to these. I'm dropping all of these videos, gang. Y'all can go back and repeat me a billion times if you like. You need administration, the conveyance of the Minnesota rule in your own terms. Yeah, it's just a deed of conveyance. Righteous. You can't use Minnesota Rule 220 in your presentment. But if you understand the concept of Minnesota Rule 220, you could use the concept, which is simply a deed of conveyance. Because you got to think about it. The birth certificate is the identification that a child, a baby, an infant has been born. So all your grown ass life, you've been walking around with a child's documentation, letting people know, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go, I'm a child. So when are you going to grow up and take control of your own securities according to Federal Code of Federal Regulations, Title 31, General Rules and Definitions of a minor? A minor is a child under the age of 18. That's the public knowledge. That's face value. We all know that. The private side, a minor is also somebody who has attained the age of 18, not yet taking control of the securities in his or her minor account. So you grew up and didn't grow up. You can be an old dumbass. Title 31 CFR, General Rules and Definitions. The word is minor. Go look up what a minor is. And then all of y'all should have the common understanding. Yeah, I'm a jit, I'm a minor, I'm a kid, I've been fucking up. I'm dumb in the mind, but I'm gonna get my shit together. So that's why you want to do Minnesota Rule 220, so you can get the child, the baby, the infant name off of it and put the real living man, the grown person name on that motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? It's a ball game, beloved. I understand this shit too deep now. Y'all gotta understand this game, gang. Feel me? 99% of the people with a minor account don't even know what it is, and they use that motherfucker every time they go out in contract. Look at the construct of a school. There is a principal and a custodian. Who's more important, the principal or the custodian? The principal is the debtor, like your account, the principal amount, the principal debt, the principal account. The principal is the debtor. He's the one that owes an obligation or liability to the school. The custodian is the one in custody of stuff. He's the protector. That's why he has all the keys. Right or wrong? Who got more keys than the custodian? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? All this shit been in your face, gang. Everything, every single bit of it. It's all been in your face. Whole time. You just ain't been paying attention. Motherfucker been out there buying boots. Y'all probably just spent a whole lot of money. Y'all just invested in Santa Claus, huh? How many of y'all just did that? How many of y'all just invested in Santa Claus? Some fake shit. Huh? Some shit. And then how many of y'all just invested in Santa Claus and then blamed your kids for the reason you do it? Do y'all know? Let me ask y'all a question. Do liars love you? And if you can admit that liars do not love you, why do you lie to your children? People used to tell me, you're destroying your child's childhood. So you telling me my kid ain't gonna grow up? They not gonna grow up right if I don't tell them a fucking lie? And then y'all try to dress the lie up and make it real for dress it up and make it real for. Oh, they know exactly what the fuck they do. They tell you. When I ask them why they doing this shit, they give me a reason. You blame that lie on your kids. You know it's a lie. I know Santa Claus ain't real. I know I'm the one wrapping the gifts. I know I'm the one doing the tree. I know I'm the one doing the shopping. I know. But what your baby know? Do your baby know this lie? The extent you're going to lie? You lie about every holiday you have your child experience. Ain't no damn babies wrapped in a pamper floating around shooting people in love. That don't make sense. That don't make sense, beloved. You probably have seen a rabbit fuck a chicken. But you ain't finna get no goddamn Easter egg from that. You ain't finna get no egg with no bunny in it. So why you lying to your babies? Why are you teaching them about fertility and not giving them the concept of what it means? Why are you showing them sex? Because that is a form. That's how fertility comes about, through sex. So why are you grooming your child? I got to be careful. People love blaming men for grooming their children. Look how the mothers dress their daughters. That's a grooming. Look what they allow them to see. That's a grooming. Look how they train them. Look how they maintain them, the clothes that they buy. It's a little girl on TikTok. Her mama's recording her act like her. And my God, I feel so bad for the man that little girl interacts with in life. I feel so bad. It's a wonder why the mother's single herself. And she just think it's so funny when she see the little girl cussing out the kids, because that's how she act to the kids. They ain't doing nothing but literally, they ain't doing nothing but literally imitating that. She's imitating her mother. Put it the fuck back. She on the back of the camera. That kid's gonna grow and act just like that to people and think it's funny, think it's cool. And a lot of y'all gonna get y'all feelings hurt because of what your people allowed. That was disrespectful. Like when I ask women what's your body count, they get offended because I make them think about their treasure that they've wasted away. You just give it to anybody, and I'm special. I'm supposed to treat you like the eighth wonder of the world, and almost everybody in the world that experience you. Gotcha. So then to make excuses for that, what about you? What about the man? What about the man? What's your body count? Da, 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 da. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Hey, before you try to have that conversation with me, I do not, with every fiber of my body, believe in equality. So, beloved, you not being a man is entirely different. What you're basically telling me is you want to whore your body out like you're saying I'm a whore. If you're saying I'm a whore because of my body count, you're saying why don't you have the ability to whore yourself out? Or why don't we receive the equal judgment for it? Because we're not equal. I penetrate. I don't get penetrated. First difference. I can't have a baby. You do. Second difference. You got breasts. I got nuts. Third difference. It's a disgrace if you got this. You must got too much testosterone and not enough estrogen. Little sir, if you got this, you a strong little man. Little woe man. You know? Parents should be teaching their children at home, focusing on the scriptures. I mean, don't just subject your children to the Bible. They got to learn reality, how to operate that into reality, you know? So allow them to go out there and experience people. It's okay to experience public school, but if you're not training your children, once again, if you're not training your children for this realm of life that they're about to go into, you're the failure to them. Our parents are the reason motherfuckers is murderers, rapists, thieves, and yada yada yada. Our problems start in the home. You did. However, we got a common issue. We blame the ghost. We blame the parent that wasn't there, opposed to the one that is. We excuse them. They did the best that they actually could, which states that you were the worst that you could actually be. When they say that, they did the best that they could. That means you were so horrible. This is all I could do. I couldn't give you the best. I had to give you what I was. I had to give you what I could survive with. And a lot of parents are in survival mentality mode. I don't say single mother, single father. Duh. You're the only father, the only mother. Of course, you're the single mother, single father. But when you separate it from your partner or the other parent, you've become a single parent. It ain't my baby mama, they're my kids' mama. I have no entitlements to that woman. Motherfuckers be saying, my baby mama, my baby mama. Nah, that ain't yours no more. That's somebody else's baby mama too. Our baby mama. Start saying our. Our baby mama. If you gonna claim it, our. Make the full claim proper. OPP. You with other people property. You like sharing. She ain't got no problem being shared. It's a family affair. Get used to it. Stand on it. Understand? Dress it up and make it as real as you want to. Stop letting your children fall into these curses. Stop being so emotionally bruised and unbound that you lead them right into your own destruction. You dig me? Seriously, y'all. Tighten up. If you got kids in this world, the worst thing you can do is take them away from the dynamic of a man and a woman in a home together. That's the worst thing you can do. It was your duty and responsibility to show them, let us make man in our image. And when y'all two split, you broke that covenant. You broke that bond. And then majority of women end up stealing the kids from the man and demanding payment from him for his property. They know it's his property. That's why they demanding payment. It ain't because she taking care of them too. These are your kids, brother. And she feel like she been stuck with the bill. Y'all went out to eat. And when you left, or when she left you, it don't fucking matter. 75% of divorces are initiated by the woman. When she left you for shit that she already issues, she already knew what was present. See, a lot of women have a complex. They have this superiority complex. This I can change you complex. You know what I'm saying? They get beside themselves. Women that haven't mastered their own emotional capabilities think that they can change a man. And then they fail. And they're embarrassed of that failure. So women try to disconnect or disassociate from that failure in some of the most vindictive ways possible. Child support, jail, beat up, whatever. Because it's about revenge. It's a game. And they feel as though they've gotten played. So this is their get back. That's why you have to be careful who you bond with. Listen to many of their stories of the men they've bonded with. Their children's father. He's a drug abuser. He's a junkie. He's a womanizer. He's a woman beater. A whole bunch of discrepancies, a list of them. And she'll stand on them proudly without taking the accountability that this is what you're attracted to. Without first making that claim. I like that shit. Skip on that part. It's all good. You know. That's why you have to be careful. You know. Make sure you're raising your children properly. Because they're gonna go out there and interact with other people that you have to trust have raised their children properly. And see, I'm a man, so me speaking on women, women feel like, well, what do you say to men? What do you? I have an entire organization for men that holds them accountable. In order for them to succeed in the organization, you have to be held accountable. I've never seen an organization designed for women to be held accountable. Instead of accountability, women receive coddling. They receive support, no matter what the decision may be. Because she's a woman, because she's pregnant, because she's with child. And then the expectancy, you know, the expectancy for everyone to hold a man accountable. Not just a man, men without in total holding women accountable. It's just crazy. It's crazy work. You're not allowed actually to speak on women. if you're a man, but they can speak on men. I'm grown enough to acknowledge my flaws in the part I play. Teach these young women that's who's observing everything y'all did, not what y'all doing. Somebody needs to create an organization by great mothers. Not always true. We both are stuck in the loop. I don't disagree with you. The vision is to create a safe healing space for mothers with equity, erudition. Yeah, but in order for the women, like, okay, so my male organization wants to create an auxiliary. So the patriarch wants to create a matriarch. The matriarch is going, as I was just about to state, is filled with what is called great mothers. Okay, these are women who can stand in the position of Proverbs 1 and 4. They can teach you both ways of the woman, her deceptive ways, and as also her natural, pure ways. Right? And the reason you need women like this in reality is because every woman has experienced her deceptive, manipulative side, as well as her pure side. However, many choose to not disclose this side and only act and exist in this side. And many, the world operates in that veil. They don't tell you about specific types of women, they tell you to love all women. It doesn't matter if the prostitute is pregnant, that woman needs to be loved and supported. She's with a child, this and that and the third. You can't judge her. It doesn't matter if she's 13 years old and she's pregnant. You can't judge that situation. And a lot of y'all are asked, well, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? If you're asking that question, you don't even have the capability to govern the children that you have. How did you receive them yourself? What gave you the right to lay down with somebody and produce children and you don't even know how to execute judgment? You're afraid to execute judgment because I can show you in the scriptures, I can show you in the many biblical or religious texts where the higher power of that religion gives you rules, laws, and authorities, duties and responsibilities, codes, obligations that you must follow by. And it tells you exactly what to do with wicked children. Babies raising babies, but because it was your baby, it's okay. How was your baby ever that comfortable to do this outside of your law, your authority? Ask many women why did they move out of their mama or father's house. And majority of the reasons why they moved out of their parents' house is because of their mama. It wasn't because of their daddy. They wanted to get away from their mama. They wanted to be grown like their mama. They did the exact same thing their mama did. And then these untrained women go out into the world and act. I'm sorry, these untrained females go out in the world and act like women, like the men who don't have fathers. They go out in the world and observe other men and imitate or act that. They wing it. You dig? But they deserve greater grace because they don't have the example there. They have to wing it. The male doesn't have his father there. She had a quote unquote mother there. So how did she grow into an unacceptable being? Something I never believed that your children should be keeping house. What's that mean, beloved? I don't believe it's any issue with children having responsibilities or duties, you know. But if it's so you can go live a better life, no. If it's to teach them responsibilities, duties, absolutely. Cook and clean and watch and sit. Hell yeah, I'm with that. They should be like a motherfucker. Rather than go, because then how are your children gonna understand labor? You know, instead of using a vacuum, get their ass a corn broom. It's called sweat equity. There should be a reward, something that they benefit by doing that though. Shit, I ain't teaching my kids that anything should be just handed to them. You should just have, motherfucker. Do you have something in exchange for that? If you read these 3 books, I go get you that car, that toy, whatever it is you're looking for. You dig what I'm saying? Teach your kids how the ways of the world work in home, so they can take those principles outside and operate properly. Because that's exactly what you do when you go outside and operate. But they don't just give you shit. You have to do a certain performance for that shit, man. You take your stank ass to work to buy all of that shit. Why you ain't teaching your kids to work for that shit? They're not my slaves. You ain't never looked up the definition of the word family. That's why they use it at work. Because a family is a household of servants. You dig me? If that man's house needs doctors, why not manage his property and send his girls or his daughters or his children to school to learn doctorate? If it needs lawyers, why not send them to law school? If the family needs accountants, why not send them to accounting and learn business? See, everybody got this twisted concept that as a man, you're the only slave for the family. Everybody's supposed to benefit off of your sweat equity, which means you're supposed to go out there and work 12-hour shifts. You're supposed to go out there and bleed sweat and toil for your spoil. See, they take God's punishment and make that their punishment to you. Be aware. Be aware. You need to get to know these women before you get them. They ask them what is their understanding of a man. What is his duties? Oh, he's supposed to go out there and work and what? Pay all your bills? Are you a child too? Do you not have a duty to provide for the children? What are your provisions for the children? I put their clothes on. That's not a provision. I buy them. I cook their food. That's not a provision. I buy it. Well, I get food stamps. You still didn't. You got that food stamps in or for as a result of having my children. I got them. So what do you do for this family? It's called an incubator. Okay. If you give a woman sperm, she'll give you a baby. If you give her food, she'll make it a meal. If you give her a house, she'll make it a home. She's an investment. Okay. The depository, which is the woman, was set up for the benefit of the depositor. The woman does not deposit anything inside of your body. You are the only one that extends credit to her. When you extend that capital stock to her, 9 to 10 months later, you get a maturity date. The maturity of the bond. You get a return. It's been converted. You gave it something and it was been converted into something else equitable to you. A baby. It's all business. Women have the benefit to receive. Women have the benefit to receive. Absolutely, but you have to be endowed under his in his name. If you're not endowed under his name, you're endowed under your father's name. Women don't operate from the women are not, it's not they're not supposed to or whatever the case is, but women don't operate from the extension of beneficiary. They operate from the extension of dowry. This is why when a man actually marries you, he's supposed to pay the father a dowry, a price for you. And if you're married, you receive favor from, yes, absolutely. Until you actually get married, you are considered dead. And a lot of women plan on dying dead. That's crazy. It's not everybody's goal to get married and have kids. That's your fucking purpose. But let folks breathe. I say, fellas, man and woman, But definitely, fellas, please talk to these women. The Bible speaks in so many different angles why you should not look at her eyes. They're beautiful. Why you should not look at her smile. It's beautiful. Why you shouldn't look at her voice. It's beautiful. Her legs is beautiful. Her breast, her booty is beautiful. Stop looking at the face value shit that you're attracted to and talk to her. Get to know what's in here. Get her to talk. And I guarantee you, you won't want to stick your penis inside of that. You wouldn't want to invest in that type of woman. Not unless you don't have control over your flesh. You're that desperate to have sex when any one of them will give it to you. It's not that hard. Ugly people be hunching. Broke people be hunching. Lazy people be hunching. Everybody be hunching. You dig? It ain't hard to hunch. But is it that deep? Because you know the results of hunching. You know? If you're a biblical person, if you read the Bible, right? Every time a man had sex with his woman, it said that he went into her tent and he knew her. A lot of these brothers don't know these women that they having sex. Because women make the choice of having sex. Well, they used to. I don't know what the hell y'all doing now. But women used to make the choice of who they conceive with based on his status. Whether you had some money, whether you took care of kids well, whether you took care of a home well. Women are even attracted to how well you take care of your woman. How you treat her, the affection you show her, they start to desire that themselves. But because women think that they are men, they think that they are committing adultery by them entertaining you while you're married. Forgetting that adultery is if a married man is if a man has sex with a married woman. That's what adultery is. You're having intercourse or fornication in exchange with another man's possession. And every woman is the man's possession if she has his last name. That ain't yours. You was at first your daddy's possession, which is why he walks you down the aisle and gives you away to the next possessor. It's a transfer and an assignment. The father's property has been transferred to this man, and he has been assigned the duty just as the father. If that unmarried man has sex with a married woman, they've committed adultery. If a married man has sex with a married woman, they have committed adultery. What's the common denominator? Her being married. Now, if a man has sex with a woman who has not been betrothed or promised to somebody, he must make it his duty to endow her to be his wife. This is what I'm teaching my daughter. You can't just let somebody hunch on you, sweetheart. This individual that hunch on you is going to make a deposit, and there's the possibility of a return and a responsibility on both behalves. And you must evaluate first if this individual can handle and manage responsibilities. If that decision is proper, allow me, your father, to make the final judgment. Because you may be governing yourself based on how you feel and not what's logical. Logically, is it time for you to have children? Logically, is it time for you to get married? Logically, is this logical? Logically, my children are not going to go out there and choose who they want to marry. They don't even know themselves. I got that. I've been entrusted with the responsibility to marry my children. That's why I've been entrusted with the responsibility to walk her down the aisle and give her away, because she's my responsibility. And whoever I give her away to, if I give her away to a wicked man, that falls on me and my conscience. If she gets divorced, the Bible says that she's supposed to return back to her father. That falls as a disgrace on my name. If only all fathers would teach their fathers that. This is a basic principle that the mother and the father, and predominantly since the fathers are in the home, this is something that definitely the mother should be instilling. But because of their perpetual hate towards men or whatever has happened to them by a man, they will not relinquish power to a man. Not in thought, not in word, neither in verb. And this is the discrepancy within existence. Even if the man is out of character, out of order, out of purpose, the next person's actions should not dictate your character. So because the man is acting like a hoe, that don't give you the right to become his whore. I meant to say, if only fathers would teach their daughters that. If only they had the respective power to do so. A lot of men are afraid to teach their daughters, even their women, the truth because of the lion that they have to deal with. I'm sorry, the dragon that they're gonna have to deal with. You know how many women I battle with about my perspective, about what I want to teach my children, about what I believe and say is correct and true. It's only a few of y'all that agree. Believe that. It's only a few of y'all that agree. Many of them have already logged off from the damn call. Many of them will hear my perspective and say, oh, he hates women. He just wants to control a woman. I don't hate women. Sometimes it doesn't mean you hate man. You just don't know the knowledge. I mean, thinking of the word behavior, be, have, I, or. Your behavior is conducive to the way you think. You only like when you think about that book that Steve Harvey wrote, think like a woman and act like a man. You can't do that. You can't do that. Nah, you be speaking all facts, but that's because I've heard this before. Right. But yeah, you can't think like a woman and act like a man. Your behavior is conducive to the way that you think. You speak a certain type of way, you walk a certain type of way, you talk a certain type of way because of the way you want people to perceive you, think of you, see you. We all care what someone thinks of us, and you're a liar if you don't. Now, the degree to how much we care is what separates everybody from everybody, because that degree is what drives you to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, to stand in the integrity of a postmaster or an officer or a real this and that and the third. You dig what I'm saying? every every role in this life, there's an attire, there's a dress code for that character, there's a vernacular for that character or vocabulary, there's a code for that character. If you're gonna be a real ninja, there's a code. You know what they dress like. You can tell a real ninja. If you're gonna be a Muslim, you can tell what they look like. You can see, you can separate these people in society based on the way they move, how they, what they do. Okay. Now, yes, everything be is based on how you were taught. However, a lot of us weren't taught, but that's not an excuse because we've all observed a right and a wrong way. So whether you were taught that or not, we're calling ourselves grown and we're making these choices to go against what we have been taught or not been taught. Like as I said, when I speak my perspective, they call me crazy. They say I'm gay. They say I hate women. They call women that agree with me pick me's. They say you just want a man, you so desperate for a man's attention. What I'm saying is, man, is a lot of us choose not to go the right way based on the persecution that comes from it. And that's why the Bible say when you get baptized, you're gonna be baptized in the washing of the word, which is the renewal of your mind. And then uh the fire. The fire is the persecution. You got to think about it. You've been going left your whole life. with people that agree with going left. And then you make the abrupt decision to, I'm going to turn around and go right. And then make the also conscious decision to say, hey, y'all should come with me. You should not be going left. Everybody that's still stuck on left gonna come against you. But you was just doing this. You was just doing it. Now you saying this ain't that. Now you saying don't do this. Now you saying this. Now you saying that. That's the persecution. The Bible speaks of three types of soil that the word of truth can be planted in, or three types of substances. There's the plant that is grown on rocky soil, meaning it whenever it tries to take root, it'll never take root. There is no soil for it to grow. There's no nutrients, so it'll never take root. It'll never get the truth. And then you'll have those, which is a lot of us in the middle. They hear the truth. They make a conscious decision to want to follow the truth, but then the ways of the world start fucking them up. That persecution. They learned that, damn, I had a lot of friends when I was in the world, people I can go party with, I can call, just do stupid shit with. But now that I don't do those things, I can't enjoy a lot of life because I don't have the friends that I had, or I don't even have friends to do these things with. I was taught the right way. Now doing life, each day you learn something. Absolutely, you know. So you start feeling alone. Then you start feeling like, okay, well, I can go to the club, but I just ain't got to drink. I can do that. I can do this. I just ain't gotta do what I was doing while I was doing it. You start making excuses for why you start lifting up your skirt again. Because in modesty, you're supposed to be covered up. And as a bride to Christ, he wants his gift wrapped. I don't know what man don't want his gift wrapped. If my woman is a prize to me, if she's and if it's my woman, I love on my woman. You understand me? I love your body. I love your smile. I love your voice. I love your eyes. I love I love everything about you. Your legs is sexy. Your toes is sexy to me. You understand? So within that being said, I'm protective of what's mine. Okay. And I don't want what's precious to me offered erroneously to the public. I don't want what's private to me because a woman is supposed to be your rib. You can't see my ribs. The rib is on the inside of the body. I'm the head. The head is what you can see. So I'm the public. I'm the face of this shit. She the private protection of this shit. Law, wisdom. Okay? What do the ribs protect? Vital organs. She's supposed to protect your emotional state because your emotional state is where the spiritual takes over. That's why she's supposed to be the emotional intelligent one. That's why she is more emotional than you. Because that's her duty to govern the energetic motions. Understand, the spirits do not come in this world through a man. Spirits coming through this world through the portal of a woman. So she's more susceptible to spiritual manipulation than a man, simply because her reality is governed by her emotions, which is why she needs a head. She is a part of the body. She is not the fucking neck. If a woman tells you, yeah, you're the head, but on the neck, she still wants control, brother. You need a woman to understand submission. Mission, and she comes into your body taking on a submission. She has to submit to your body. That's your way, that's your rule, that's your life, that's your faith, that's your law. Now, woman, you have every right before you do submit to anybody to make a choice to do so or not. There's no gun to your head. There's no needle in your vein. This is why your father should have been there to help you see exactly who this man is you think you love. And if your father wasn't there, a great mother who understands the nature of both man and women to see exactly who he is. to see your flaws and what you're doing too much of or whatever it is for him. See, a lot of people believe in romance, right? Break it down. Rome antics. That's what romance is. It's a game, right? Think about it. You're chasing a woman. Why the fuck she running? Who's she running from? And if she running from you, is that not a symbol of fear? So why you chasing her? And then you pin her down. And then you caught the get the fuck out of here. What's going on? What we doing? Who taught us this shit? You know, a lot of people speak on witchcraft, right? A lot of people speak on witchcraft and don't understand that witchcraft is not one single thing. It's many different crafts. Enchantment, manipulation, deception. Those are all forms of a witch's craft. And this is why, fathers, you need to be in your daughter's life because she naturally has irregular spiritual things going about her. And every man with a daughter has seen their daughter manipulate with tears. As at a young age, you've seen her cry to get what she wants. You've seen her do what women in reality do today that are calling themselves grown. And it's up to you. You're supposed to be the one to eradicate that. The Bible says that if you do not kill the prostitute, if you don't kill the spirit of prostitution, it will spread in the land. You have to set an example. You cannot allow other daughters to believe that it's okay to sell your body. You cannot let other daughters believe, like when you see that, what's that female name? Brittany, the one she a Muslim now. She used to be a porn star, you know. She a Muslim now. She had sex with all of the young boys of the NBA, got their money and all of that stuff. Light skinned female. And she a Muslim now. You know what I'm saying? That's the final transformation stage of the great whore. And you got to pay attention to these women. A lot of these women they're subjecting themselves to trends like cooking with Kaya, cook all that bullshit. That's manipulation. It's manipulation. It's advertisement. That's not getting to know the person. You see how we as men we make irrational judgments to women. If she got a fat ass, that's a bad bitch. Wrong. Wrong. If she got a nice body, if she got her, if we, I'm talking about the body. A lot of everybody judge the body. That's a bad wrong. Wrong. Shalom, Yolanda. Wrong. Same thing, females. If he got a lot of money, that's a real. If he got gold, if he got dreads, he real wrong. Who the fuck did we learn this shit from? How did we learn to judge character based on assets? Who taught us that? When are we gonna stop teaching that shit? Displaying that shit? Just because I mean, you don't just have to tell a child something. Children are sponges. They see more than what the fuck they hear. You know what I'm saying? How do we allow an individual like Sexy Red to become popular? You know, we all reflections of self. So everybody that likes Sexy Red, that's you. That's the persona that either you cannot exemplify or the one you already do or did and you still agree with. Yep. As Nurse Kim just said, a lot of this is in the root chakra. That's right here. A lot of everybody is living right here, in my opinion, not the root chakra. That's your I forgot. But a lot of people are living right here. They're living in their belly. They're living in their desires. Sacral. There we go. Yep. They're living in their base state. Fellas, you really don't scientifically, you don't understand that your children are literally your intellectual property. Intellectual meaning your thoughts. They are your very thoughts. You ever heard the phrase before you were ever thought of? Let's break it down. The sperm, and this is scientific, the sperm, before it comes out of your sac, it travels up your spine into your cerebral cortex, back down your spine. It has to die. It's a rebirth. And then outside of your scrotum. Children are literally the very thought of their fathers. That's why it's a blessing if you have a woman that identifies it as, I want to have a man's babies. She doesn't express it as my children. She understands that they are yours, and you both have been assigned a duty and responsibility to them. There's no competition. 50-50 doesn't have to be literally 50-50. Look at yin and yang. That's 90-10. But it's a balance. 90% rough, 10% gentle. 90% gentle, 10% rough. But a lot of women are operating in their testosterone, using the excuse because they have to raise children that they have to be masculine and feminine. You know how many good women I know that don't have to express a single bit of masculine energy that make me submit to them? The way that they soften their voice when they talk to me, the way that they humble themselves to me. Them women are so good, character and spirit wise. I tell other brothers, don't cuss around her. Pull your pants up. I make sure that she receives respect, and it ain't just me; it's other men that submit to the character, the true nature of a real woman. It's there. Y'all have a power that is unbelievable, but so many women choose to use this box down here. This ain't it. This is a portal. That's what it is. It's a portal. It's a flower, and it must be protected. It must be regarded as a treasure. You're not supposed to just be giving that thing away. The analogy I'm going to give to my daughters, my sons and daughters: son, your penis is luggage. Daughter, your vagina is a home. He's supposed to unpack in your home. You're not supposed to allow sleepovers. Daddy, what does that mean? Only one man belongs in this home. How many dads do you have? Well, Dad, I only have one, because only one man belongs in this home. There's only one man that has authority over you. And the day that you do get married, I'll give you away to somebody else that I entrust to take care of you the way that I would. Son, you're not supposed to be just dropping luggage off, but you have to maintain and manage this home. You have a duty to this house to protect it, to provide to it, and to preach for it. You dig me? You are supposed to take title to the house. It says a home without a fence around it is a spoil with the spoil without a hedge or a protection is left open to thievery or the robbery. Women are not supposed to be the executor, the front face. Through dowry, they benefit. They benefit from using your name. They're not using their last name. They ain't even necessarily even got one. Because the name that they came from was their daddy. And they didn't have to apply for that. It was automatically an inheritance to them. An inheritance to them. There's a contract between you and her. There was a stipulation for her to get your name. Y'all had to get married in order for her to get your name. Understand what I'm saying? We ain't out here expressing equity properly, man. I don't think we know what the fuck we doing. Everybody want equality and don't understand what the fuck equity mean. You know, that's what make all this shit weird. You know, and then like I keep telling y'all this game. Pay attention to the songs that people listen to. If you understand that an affirmation is a repetition of something that you believe, pay attention to these fucking songs that people are saying. Fuck a nigga, fuck all this bitch. Da, 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 da. That's not just they believe this. I mean, let me ask you a question. Would you sing a song that speak on unaliving children, doing, you know what I'm saying, whoop whoop the kids? Would you repeat that song? No, because you don't agree with it. It don't matter how hard the beat is. Even if the beat was hard and it was drawing you to it, you would do consciously what it would take for you not to listen to that type of music. Understand what I'm saying? However, we end up making excuses. I like the beat. I understand the words is atrocious, but I like the beat. I don't want to deal with no woman that listen to Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Glorilla, none of that. None of that. That's a masculine woman. I don't want to deal with another man. I beef with men that want to have control over me, that I haven't given it to. You know what I'm saying? The desire is for a pure woman. And fellas, I ain't gonna hold you. That woman needs to have a love for her higher power greater than she has for you. If she has a love for her higher power greater than she has for you, her higher power, and get to know it, her higher power should have a code for how she, as a woman, is supposed to act and react. And if she loves her higher power more than she loves you, she'll follow the code and conduct of what her higher power says. So instead of, if her higher power, like the Bible doesn't condone a woman coming against or at her man, instead she's supposed to pray to her higher power and allow his head to discipline him. The order is God, Christ, man, woman, child. The woman has dominion over her children. The man has dominion over his family. Christ has dominion over that home, supposed to. And the Father has dominion over that reality. Children are not supposed to bow up at their mama. Shalom, beloved. Nah, we just kicking it. I was talking about this coupon and all that. But we didn't got off. We talking about reality, I guess. Dynamics and mechanics of being in a relationship. What we're missing as a people because we're so desperate to beef with each other, you know. But yeah, and it ain't nothing to reverse all of this shit. Just like we trying to correct the record with our status, in Latin it's called nunc pro tunc. But just like we trying to correct the record, if you had the true spirit within you, which is love, it'd be nothing to go correct the record with the other person that you are in bondage with. If you have a child with that person, you are in bondage with them. That is the evidence of a pair bond. You dig? And it don't matter in what stage of life or event, finance, sex, children, trust, taxes, these principles apply. These principles apply. If you don't understand how to perform, you're going to keep failing. You dig? Your children were assigned to you from the spiritual realm, entrusted to this physical realm. entrusted to you. You dig me? Sister say Ephesians 5:25 through 33 is the man we should have. In many scriptures, it states that even if a man has a little, as long as his heart is aright with the creator of heaven and earth, he's a treasure. He's gold to God. He should be gold to you. We so conditioned to the ways of what the world think of us, y'all, that it's a disgrace if a woman is helping a man. The disgrace is not if she's helping the man. The disgrace is if he is using her. That's the disgrace. Dig what I'm saying? Now, we have to understand that a lot of the stipulations that come with a woman, we got to understand that a lot of the stipulations that come with a woman helping you is she want to be in a relationship with you. Like, I've rarely run into women that are my friend. I only can say I have one woman that is my friend. And I can say that this woman I can say with everything in me that this woman truly does have the best interest for my soul. There's no sexual attachment between me and this woman. I ain't never even seen her in person. You understand? But what we've experienced FaceTime and all that, but physical, I have not. I'm gonna go see her in a minute, a couple weeks actually. Um, the things she's been through with me, the things that we've experienced together, from tears, woman heard me cry. I'm saying, so I told her, man, you locked in, shorty. You can't go nowhere type shit. You feel me? But yeah, she didn't heard me cry. She doesn't use my emotional state against me. She helps me understand my emotional state. If I'm too angry, if I'm too aggressive, if I'm doing too much. She doesn't judge me. Excuse me. Even if she does judge me, I don't take it personally as a condemnation. I respect her wisdom and her counsel, her word, that I submit to her judgment and I change those things. Does that make sense, y'all? That's how the fuck you supposed to be. That's a proper person, man. If you got some fucked up ways about yourself, it should be nothing for you to admit that shit. But it's the people you're admitting it to though. Some people want to know your business to be messy. Some people want to know your business just to be a fucking hoarder of information. Dig what I'm saying? Women, naturally, their natural duty is to nurture, is to heal, is to give something more or better, or place it into a better state than it was naturally in. That's why I said, you give the motherfucker a sperm, she gonna give you a baby. You give her a house, she gonna give you a home. You give her food, she gonna give you a meal. It's her duty to elevate what you give her. That's why God said it is not good that man be in this bitch alone, and he ended up giving him a wife. Somebody, a helpmeet like unto himself. I would agree. A man should not be complacent, and a woman should not be idle. Absolutely. A man should definitely not be complacent. Abraham was told to uproot his entire living and go somewhere else. And you have to be prepared for that, man. But you can't have a woman, you can't have a dragon in your home when you say, all right, we gotta go. She gonna start, but the kids go to school. But we can establish all that. So where we going? What are you doing? What you should have said was, all right, give me some time to transfer them. Let me get them out of school. Let me go ahead and handle my responsibilities as the accountant of this relationship. Who naturally signs the kids up for school? The mama. Who naturally goes and gets the birth certificate, social security number, the insurance? Who handles the financials, or who is granted that power of the relationship, y'all? The woman. That's why all of the commercials are advertised towards her emotions. because they know the woman got the credit card, got control of the credit card, can get access to the credit card. Man, you supposed to make the money. She managed the money for you. Right? I better tighten up in this game, man. I gotta stop talking to y'all when I smoke, man. I didn't talk the whole damn blunt away, gang. But do y'all get me what I'm saying, folks? You dig? I don't care how much my truth hurt. Don't allow your children to grow up and not know these truths. And the reason I say so is because a lot of women, when they meet me and how I treat them and all of this stuff, motherfucker end up saying like, damn, I wish you would have been the one to break my virginity. Right? And they start thinking about, because I talk about this with women. You dig? Not to make them feel bad or self-conscious or whatever, but I want to know how you think. Are you embarrassed at the shit that you should be embarrassed at? That's what I want to know. Do you feel good about that? Are you okay with all the men you've allowed to slut you out? Was that your intention? Was that your purpose? Did you have the intention to marry these men or these men to marry you? Or was you just fucking? Because how am I going to feel as a special person and cherish you like you are one? It's reciprocation, reciprocity. What you give, I give. 50-50, right? You did. That's why I asked that question, what you bring to the table, Shab? If I ask you what you bring to the table, I'm insinuating, motherfucker. I got the table already here. It don't matter who's the motherfucker is. Remember, I operate in trust, so I don't own the car. I don't own the phone. I literally do not own the phone. These are in the trust name. I don't own none of this shit. I don't own none of these motherfuckers. All of this is in the trust name. All my property. You ain't got your own house. No. You ain't got your own car. No. You ain't got your own phone. No. You ain't got your own bank account. No. You ain't got your own watch. No. You ain't got your own shit. No. However, I can benefit from it all. You understand? I can use it all. I can enjoy it all. I got full rights and entitlements to it all. So what we talking about? What you talking about? What you think you talking about? You think I'm a real man if I pay your bills? I think you a real woman if you know how to file the taxes and get me the money I paid on your bills back. Can you do that? I pay your bills all day. But do you know how to file your taxes and get me my money back? Do you know how to bring the equity back home? If you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to benefit me, why the fuck would I benefit you? Make it make sense. Without manipulation. You're a man. You're supposed to do this. And you're a woman. What if we ain't got kids? Then what are your duties and responsibilities? I have the desire for a woman to rub me down when I get out the shower, just like I do my boys when they get out the tub. I grease them down head to toe. Now, recently dealt with a woman, she did it, right? But she stopped doing it. She said, don't, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna do this every day. Hold up, hold up, hold up. I said, just like I do my kids, and I don't skip out on my kids. And then what's crazy is, naturally, as a man, I want to touch your body. You ain't gotta ask this. This ain't gotta be a requirement. I want to do it. Head to toe. I want to feel you. I want to feel how I make you feel when I feel you. Why don't you have that same desire? Why does it have to be a request? I honor my woman, so I say yes, ma'am, to her. I understand who she is. I understand if she's my queen, I'm gonna acknowledge her in that fashion. She don't have to ask for that. However, if she's to address me as daddy, king, master, y'all start getting self conscious. because you understand the power that you're relinquishing to that man when you call him daddy. Full submission. Master, full submission. King, full submission. When y'all call me king on this internet, I don't believe y'all. I take that's a stroke of my ego. I don't believe you at all. I'm not your king. And I know that much because as soon as I start to give you instructions, motherfucker go to cussing me out and shit. I don't really agree with a lot of people that use these royal terms and they do not operate in a royal consciousness. You out here calling people kings and queens and you don't operate like that? I ain't talking about living in no fucking castle. Everything starts here. Remember, the behavior is conducive of the thought. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people be stroking egos. Grand rising queen, he wants some coochie. I get it. Like, I'm a teacher. You know how many women fall in love with the teacher and try to manipulate their attraction, my attraction to them, to gain information from me? This shit real. I'm dead ass serious. I know I'm aesthetically appeasing. I sound good to y'all. I don't marinate in it. I accept it. I use it responsibly. I can manipulate as many women as I want to with my appearance. I'm from the South. I'm up here in Ohio, Detroit. I'm up here up north. You know how many these motherfuckers love me up here. Say it again. What you just said? How you say that? Smile for me. Damn your lips. I understand all of these things. I don't marinate in them. I use them responsibly. You dig? Same thing I'm gonna teach my children. Because people have to pay you attention. They have to show some form of interest. All of these are banking. This is what you do when you go to the dealership. You show interest in the car, and then you have to secure that interest, and then you got to perfect that interest. Then you get your goods. Same thing with a woman. Show us some interest, secure your interest, and then when you perfect the interest, you get some coochie. I regard everything as business. It's all business. I test women. I tell them any woman that wants to be with me has to work for me. And I mean that with every fiber in my body. Now they start, if she gets offended, go on about your business. You don't understand. You rather work for the man. Or you want to sit your ass at home and let me do everything. Because that whole we gotta take care of the kids shit, I do too. As a matter of fact, I'm a locksmith. Not only am I a locksmith, but I'm a private educator. Which means I got my own fucking business and income. Which means I sit my ass at the crib too until I'm called for a duty and or responsibility. So now what? And it's nothing for me as a man. All I gotta do is say, "Hey, sit down." That's it. Or look a certain type of way. It's nothing if I'm there with the kids. It's easy being a single daddy. It's easy being a daddy. So now what? What are your responsibilities now? Because a lot of women, I don't cook, I don't clean, and I still got a ring. Oh, you a bad investment. That's all you are. You a bad investment. You're not a bad bitch. You a bad investment. What do I get out of you? What benefit do I get or receive from you? The reason I want you to work for me is I'm gonna pay you to manage my books. I'm gonna pay you to make sure the bank account's straight. I'm gonna pay you to take the kids to school. I'm gonna pay you to clean the house. I'm gonna pay you to cook for me. You don't want to earn your living? You a prostitute. You want to sell your body. You think because you lay down with me, that's what you do? I thought sex was an even exchange. I got to give you some penis in order to get some pussy. What gave you the right to charge for your stuff and I can't charge for mine? It's an even exchange. It's a bond. Shouty say, who hurt you? Who hurt who? So rather than take the information, you trying to dissect what got me to this point, and your way to communicate is to be condescending. Because it would have been simple enough to say, what brought you to this way of thinking, this mindset? How could I not have come to this opposed to observation? I mean, we all can see a lot of the shit that I'm saying in reality. Many of us have experienced these things. All is well, you know. But I think that's a deflection, you know. When you start to bring certain things up, people rather than look at themselves, they start to look at you. And I have no problem confessing my sins, confessing the things that I've done wrong. I do that privately with people that I know will manage my burdens properly. You dig me? You are commanded to confess your sins, but that's private affairs. It's gonna be people like you gotta think, what's the understanding of conditional and unconditional love? Unconditional love is no matter what you do. Conditional love is what you do, depending on what you do or don't do. So unconditional love is no matter what you do, I understand. And the reason you have unconditional love is because I understand why you did those things that you did. And rather than condemn you, I'll give you a righteous judgment, counsel, and advisory. A lot of people are just not conscious enough. A lot of people are just not secure enough to take correction. We learn to love all our aspects. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are not secure enough to manage those things properly. So therefore, when the light is shined on them, and I deal with this a lot with women. It don't matter if it's friend or relationship. Whenever I shine light on women, in order for them to be wrong, somebody else has to be wrong as well. Right? I had a exercise I did with my homegirl. I say, we're gonna go to the build a guy store, okay? And I want you to put in your buggy what you want out of a man, okay? She put in the height, the figures, car, the house, woo woo woo. I say, yeah, rack it up. Just get it. Just go away and get it. Just get it all, goddamn. You wanna know his grandma too and all? Get it all, goddamn. So I say now, take your buggy to the counter. However, I want you to understand that the only way you can pay for these things is if you have it in return to give. She said, well, damn, I probably got to go to the clearance section. Right, right. That's majority of them. They got to go to the clearance section. That's majority of people. You did. Now, virtuous woman, I don't disagree with you. Having those qualities, kindness, respect, and compassion and knowledge. Having remember, it's levels to this. So just because you have those or display those things, that's not an excuse to accept what these people are doing. Okay. And what I mean by that is just because we understand unconditionally what they are doing does not mean we are in agreement with it. There still must be a righteous judgment and even also a discipline towards it. You know, it's like when somebody cross you, forgive them. Forgive them, but make sure you let them know that the person I thought I knew, I'm going to disregard. You are not the kind, respectful, compassionate, and knowledgeable person I thought you were. So, in order for us to continue being in a relationship and or friendship, I'm gonna have to treat you like the fool you've shown me you are. Now, if that's too much for you, I understand why you would disassociate yourself from me. I totally understand that. And I hold no ill will or ill wishes towards your disassociation. I won't go out in the world and defame your name for things that I have forgiven you for. However, I will not hold back the truth as to why we have been disemboweled, if it's asked of me. You dig me? As a man, there's something that I've learned that everybody wants a man to have, but he'll get condemned for having if he speaks it publicly. Every man should have standards. Standards are boundaries. The only problem as a man with having standards or boundaries is when you express them publicly. If you say you don't want a big girl, that's a problem. If you say you want a virgin, that's a problem. If you say you want a woman that ain't never had another child with another man, that's a problem. So in this world, beloved, learn how to play chess. All right? Learn how to play chess. And what I mean by that is understand that everybody on this here chessboard got power, gang. Everybody do. The pawn got it. The rook, the knight, the queen got it. Everybody got some power to protect one motherfucker. Understand, everybody on this board will lay down their life for one motherfucker. Understand that the queen is not the most powerful one on the board. She is the most resourceful one because of her abilities to go not only where she pleases, but also what she can do. She is not the most powerful. She is the most resourceful. Because if she dies, the game still goes on. People can still play. But if he dies, game over. Okay? Understand, King, that the board in reality is your vision. And everybody on your board support your vision. Y'all understand? Now, pawns, rooks, knights, queen. There's only one queen. Queen. Choose who ye shall serve. You have that power to choose who you gonna lay your life down for, whose vision you're gonna support. That's the beauty of it all. You get to choose who you gonna support. And if you've made the choice and bonded with somebody, honor that bond. The character of somebody else should not dictate the character of yourself. If they're being a fucktard, that does not give you the right to be a fucktard. It's a reason women say a man should not match the energy of a woman. It's not because it makes you a woman. It's because they know that the levels that they go to are extreme, are horrible. Women go for blood. There's a difference between being a homosexual and effeminate. And a lot of men have been made to be effeminate by their mothers because she's raised you to be emotional. That doesn't mean you can't be angry. That doesn't mean you can't laugh. That doesn't mean you can't love. That doesn't mean you can't feel. Every man has the right to every emotion that he has. But like many women, you have been raised to be emotionally unstable. You don't know how to govern your emotions, which is why they outburst. Now, it's always because we're different, it's always going to look bad when you outburst or explode or get too angry or aggressive because you're a man. The energy, the masculine energy you produce, it's called testosterone. It's much. It doesn't matter how much testosterone a woman who is naturally estrogenic, whatever the fuck that word, it has naturally has estrogen. It's we all see it. Even the children don't respect it. After a certain age, the children do not respect that masculine tone of their mother, which is why she ends up sending them to their father, because the children aren't listening to the mother and she's not getting that respect anymore. That's the point in the father being there, because the children will end up disrespecting their mother because of the lack of authority, or I'm sorry, the lack of power physically that she displays. Her power is not physical. Her power is intellectual. Her power is mental. Her power is not in her pussy, it's in her abilities. You know what I'm saying? From how she does her alchemy, that's her cooking, mixing those potions, mixing those incense, mixing those herbs, those spices. Her abilities lie in an entirely different realm than her sexual organs. You know, how long we been on this call? 2 hours. We're gonna get it by 10 more minutes, gang. And I'm gonna get up out of here. What's happening though? Y'all understand the things that I'm saying, folks? High vibes. Heal and tap into self manifest by manipulating the frequency to correct the chessboard. Righteous. Righteous. Understand that the game of chess is an armory game. The game was created, excuse me, it's based on literally king's property and shit. You know? And you have to associate life the same way. You know? You have to associate life the same way. Every day is a library. You're learning something new. Your responsibility in this library is to teach a lesson and learn a lesson. We love your reflection, received and reciprocated. Absolutely, beloved. You know. Yeah, my TikTok gang, I don't that's all I want to talk about. Like trust tax, the shit I've been talking to y'all about all night, the Bible, I love the Bible. You know. I love y'all, but I'm afraid of y'all. I say I'm afraid of y'all because not everybody has these principles grounded. Y'all might understand it. Y'all might agree with me or whatever the case may be, but how many people are operating in these standards? How many people are not afraid to produce these standards to the public, to go against what you were naturally doing irrationally? You know, I tell a lot of my family members the reason I don't feel comfortable with them in my circle of my life is because of the lack of protection. You don't even want to learn the information, you just want to benefit from it. So how can I expect you to protect me if I am ever the one that gets caught up in a situation? Biblically, if you cut the head, the body falls. You know, and this is why I tell my students, I don't want to be your source point. I want you to understand the laws that they have created. Read their laws. I didn't write the Bible, I just read it. You dig me? So therefore, you can't condemn me for the words that are in it at all. They're not mine. Take it up with God. Take it up with the United States government. You understand? So with that being said, like, if I can't trust you to protect me mentally, physically, and spiritually, I don't want you around me at all. And granted, a lot of y'all cool as a motherfucker. A lot of y'all cool as hell, even in this lower state. But I can't trust you, you know? And until I can trust you, I can't allow anybody in my circle. I don't care. The Bible, when they told Christ, hey man, your mama and them outside, man. Your brother and your sister and them too. He told them, who are my mother, brother, and sister, but those who are doing the will of my Father. That's why I base everything off of. That's how I try your spirit. If you don't believe or follow the principles of the Bible, you ain't gonna believe or follow me. Not. I don't believe in that. We can find some common ground and agree, and that's why we work together. No, because after that common ground is absolved, then what? We beefing again? Dig what I'm saying? I try to be in peace. Damn, I try to be in peace with all. You did take too much energy to beef, man, to be mad, to be upset. Seriously, y'all. People are valuable, not expendable. At least don't treat them that way. You know, correct y'all affairs, correct y'all status. Remember, I told y'all before y'all can start sending these coupons and shit, you got to make sure you've corrected the account. You got to make sure you've established some form of control or ownership over the account. Once you've shown that the account name is not by itself, but there's a representative on its behalf, then you can use these payment coupons. All we need to do is be ourselves. We shine, light the way. This is the movement. I agree. I agree. You know, but all is well, beloved. You know, y'all gonna get y'all remedy very soon. And when y'all get that remedy, gang, operate in it with honor. You did. Can you use a negotiable instrument as a bill to be paid by the Treasury? That sentence don't make sense to me, beloved. I don't think I can give you an equitable answer with something I don't understand. So restructure your sentence, slow down, reread that motherfucker before you send it, and then let's try it again. Does anybody have questions for me? Uh, Before I get up out of here, what I do in the class now? Once I'm gone, leave me alone. Do y'all have any questions right now? Hmm? Go watch The Wizard of Oz again. The old one. Go watch The Wizard of Oz, and this time take your child eyes off. You've already seen it before. You've got your laugh saying, ha 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 ha. Now go watch it with a purpose this time, which is to learn something. And you're gonna see a lot of odd shit like, damn, why he said that? You're gonna see the sign before the tornado when she get caught up in the tornado. You're gonna see the sign about the Great Oz. It's America. Y'all ever watch Peter Pan? Y'all know what Never Never Land was? It was America. It was a land that they had never been to. That's why they called it motherfucking Never Never Land. And then you got Captain Hook, the pirate. He's trying to exploit the land. And guess who the fuck he beefing with? The Inuits. I mean, the Injuns. You look up what an Injun is, that's an Indian. I'm not just making this shit up. Go watch the movie Peter Pan, folks. And pause the movie when Captain Hook look at his map and read the map. Never Never Land was the land that what they ended up calling in reality the New World. It was a new world to them because they had never been here before. They had never had control or dominance over it before. How the fuck you discover someplace somebody already discovered? They ain't even just discovered the motherfucker. They already thriving and living in this motherfucker. Building shit, worshiping, sacrificing, beefing. How the fuck you discover some shit a motherfucker already discovered and then take ownership of the shit? Not even how you do, but how we let. How we let them. You know? There's so much truth we gotta correct, folk. So much truth we gotta correct that we not correcting because we don't understand how we let them. Right? We did this to ourselves. We did. All right, I'm finna get up out of here though, guys. Y'all ain't got no questions for me. Yeah, if y'all ain't got no questions for me, everything is in its divine place. All right, all right. It's cliche to me. I ain't gonna lie. It's cliche, but I understand. I understand. That's more so an affirmation than a fact for a lot of people. But I understand. I mean, I got my opinions and perspectives on things. You know, I'm gonna let it ride. But if y'all ain't got no questions for me, I'm slide on up out of here. What it is? Yeah, I'm over the time limit anyway. Assalamu alaikum. Light, serenity, prosperity, and abundance. Likewise, beloved. Likewise. All right, y'all. I'm finna go. Shalom, shalom.